a sub above. Tomorrow is Wednesday on our show. How long is that? Are we going to eat for free? I hope so tomorrow. That's kind of a new thing on the show, and I've got to be honest. I like it. Joy Taylor with the news.
No. Turn on the news. This is the Herdline News.
Jersey Mike's Day is a good day around the herd. We get excited. The contract that will never end. I wonder how much time we've spent talking about Dak Prescott's contract.
So what did he say now? What was it? Was it an optimistic spin? What's he saying?
Well, there's no news out of Dallas, of course, but he has shown that he is still committed to the franchise. Tight end Blake Jarwin posted a picture with Dak and tagged him with the comments, "Want to run it back in a few months?" And Dak shared the post and said, "That's the only way I see it." So Dak wants to be back with Dallas. I don't know if that's necessarily news, but in this new NFL free agency period where we follow every single breadcrumb and look into everything that everyone says, this is news. Dak wants to be there. I don't see Dak not being in Dallas. I don't know what Dallas is going to do without Dak Prescott. Of course, it's always come down to, can they get a long-term deal done? Obviously, Dallas did have a long-term deal on the table, just wasn't as much as Dak wanted. I think that the injury will change some things once they come to the table again. It's going to cost Dallas $37.7 million to franchise tag Dak again. He played on the $31.4 million tag last season, so it's not very frugal of Dallas to tag him again. And you know what you're getting with Dak Prescott. So yeah. I mean, from Dak's perspective, you have the injury. You understand now the whole perspective. He bet on himself, which I had no problem with him doing, but that is a factor and can really affect what the money that you're going to make long term. And Dallas is going to be paying almost $40 million for Dak this year if they franchise tag him. So hopefully this gets worked out. I could never have anticipated that this contract would go as long as it has, especially for someone like Dak that I think everyone really likes and thinks is the franchise quarterback for Dallas.
Yeah, I mean, listen, it's it comes down to, my mom used to always say this. You can't have a milk budget and want champagne. There is a salary cap. They're paying a lot of people, so you want to get that number at 32, 33. You don't want to pay a champagne price. You know what I mean? The key here is they like Dak. They like him. It's just there is a price here. And again, I'm not blaming Dak because they paid Zeke too early. Tyron Smith, I swear to God, has a 25-year contract. DeMarcus Lawrence is now a bad contract. I would have kept Byron Jones. They let him left. So Dallas has a couple of issues here. One, they have overpaid for good, not exceptional players. And I can tell you what Dak's agent's saying. That's not our fault. We're not taking a discount because you've overpaid for pass rushers and wide receivers. That's Dak's best argument. Is my guy in the 4 division years he was healthy, won the division twice, and through 5 games led the NFL in passing yards. So Dak's got a lot of momentum here. Also, last year felt like, Joy, the Cowboys there was some chaos. I mean, I think that's fair to say with the Mike Nolan. Well, Dak is the opposite of chaos. So you're not just paying for Dak's talent and his leadership, but there's a stability with Dak. He's a very formidable person. So, I can have...
Yeah, he's the franchise quarterback.
And he's like a grown-up. Like, he always says the right thing. He's always good. He's a little anti-Baker. He always says the right thing at the podium. He quells the storm. So, listen, I can say, Dak, I don't want to pay that champagne contract, but he's got a lot of leverage here. And as you and I know, a lot of times you get paid, not just on talent, you get paid on timing, you get paid on leverage. Dak is anti-chaos, and last year the Cowboys felt like chaos. So I think he's going to end up getting kind of what he wants.
Well, they should have saved some of that champagne budget for the guy that they needed to pay champagne money to. So J.J. Watt has gotten plenty of interest since being released by the Texans. The Browns are one of those teams. Cleveland will reportedly take a look and discuss going after Watt this offseason. And according to Mary Kay Cabot, Watt is considering Cleveland as one of his options because they have what he wants, cap space, and a roster that can contend for a title. The Browns have $21.7 million in cap space entering next season. That's the 10th most in the NFL. I'm with you. I don't think that this is a likely destination for J.J. Watt. I do think that J.J. Watt wants the most amount of teams interested out there. So I think this is, I think the Browns being interested is real. And I think J.J. Watt being interested in the Browns is real as far as let's get as many teams talking about signing me as possible. Like, that's beneficial to both parties. I don't think this is where he's going to end up. To your point, we've had 1 year of Browns stability. I like everything the Browns are doing. I believe in Kevin Stefanski. I think he did establish a culture there. I think they're comfortable with the pieces that they have, and they're comfortable with Baker, and they are going to keep improving. But let's wait and see. I'm in complete wait and see mode for the Browns for a while because we've watched inconsistency with the Browns for decades. Yeah. So I don't believe that. I do think that they're on the right path, but they're not in a Super Bowl. They're not in the Super Bowl conversation. I don't care what happened in the playoffs this year. Yeah. That's not what's actually happening with the Browns. They're improving, they're growing, they're building. All that's wonderful. But there's certain teams that are in the Super Bowl conversation and have a Super Bowl window. You're growing towards that. J.J. Watt is not going to be the piece that's going to put you over the top there. He could be a piece, but not the piece. Yeah. So if I'm J.J. Watt, I want to go somewhere that can definitely win a Super Bowl next year. The Packers being one of those places. I actually think that the Steelers could be realistic. I don't really like Ben Roethlisberger as the quarterback option there, but maybe he wants to play with his brother. NFL Network's Mike Girardi just tweeted that Titans GM John Robinson said the team has reached out to J.J. Watt. Obviously, Mike Vrabel was Watt's defensive coordinator in Houston, so there's a tie there. I actually like that move. That's an interesting option.
Well, also, I think what we would both admit, the Titans had the double whammy last year. No pass rush, and the weakest part of their defense was the back end. So, they really need to go out and spend money on a pass rusher. They can't even afford. My guess is Tennessee in the draft is going to draft a pass rusher. So if they could get J.J. Watt and draft one, it would go a long way to solving both their problems, which is you had all day to throw against the Titans last year. Good stuff. Joy.
So,
you have one more. Go ahead.
Oh, I have one more. Yeah, a team that you have a great affection for, the Jazz, continued their hot streak last night. 134-123. Win over the 76ers. Jordan Clarkson led Utah with a season-high 40 points off the bench and made a career-high 8 three-pointers. This was their 8th straight win and 19 in their last 20 games. They're first in the West with a 23-5 record, which is the best start through 28 games in Jazz franchise history. They're the only team to rank in top 5 both offensive and defensive efficiency this season, and they're averaging 16.8 made three-pointers per game, which is first in the NBA. So the Jazz are absolutely rolling right now.
Yeah, but for the record, Joy, if you recall, they were last year, and then was it Bogdanovich got hurt, broke his wrist or broke his arm, and they lost a three-point component. When healthy, just take the Lakers out of it because the LeBron factor. They don't have anybody on this team that matches up with LeBron. If you took the Lakers out of the NBA, I could make the argument. We've always felt they were a little like the Celtics West. They have the most interesting components. Donovan Mitchell can score. They've got the big that can be the rim protector. They got Ingles and guys on the wings that can shoot. They've got a coach like Brad Stevens. They stress defense. They've got a lot of championship stuff here. The question's always been, do they have an elite wing defender to guard a Kawhi or to guard a LeBron? That I don't think they have. So I think they're a very good team that probably has a slightly lower ceiling. But I actually watch the Jazz more than most teams because I spend some time in Utah. When you watch them, you get why they win. They do a lot of things well. Good stuff. Joy with the news.
Well, that's the news.
And thanks for stopping by.
The Herd Lie News.
It's it is funny. I was talking to a friend this week, and LeBron James just drives him nuts. And, when it comes to LeBron James, I'm into the basketball stuff. I know sometimes he's been political, and there was the China kind of debacle, which got all sorts of people in the NBA, the commissioner and owners and GMs in trouble. But LeBron said something offhand, and I can just see how it drives his critics nuts. But what he said, he's right about, and it may be nuts to a lot of people, but he said something this week kind of offhanded, and basketball is not the only league he would star in. We'll talk about that next. Sometimes driving is great. The weather's good. It's warm. The radio's blaring. The right song is on. The roads are fairly open. You get up on a Saturday morning, not real crowded on the road. And then sometimes driving is not great. Like right now, I just saw stories yesterday about Texas. You got ice and cold, and rain is coming down in sheets, and everything beyond your windshield starts looking like some kind of abstract art project. That's when you need the new Michelin Endurance XT silicone wiper blades. Designed for extreme weather performance, made with an advanced Quad-Tech 4-layer coated silicone that repels water, snow, and ice. They last 2 times longer than other blades and resist cracking in extreme cold, what we're seeing now, or heat in the summer. They don't crack. So even under the worst conditions, you see clear, you last longer. Upgrade today. Michelin Endurance XT silicone wiper blades, available only at Walmart.